Oh, shit!
Hi everybody, I'm Cotton Eye Joe. I'm Ritzgarm.
I'm Josh.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Seamus. And we're doing something
We are
special.
here. Saddest
We are-
part
Yes.
of the world.
This is basically the cutscene we're about to see is the entire reason I agreed to cover this game, because I have the pure rage for this cutscene. It offends me on so many different levels. In fact, there are so many things wrong with this cutscene that we would never be able to cover them all during our using our normal format of a conversation. So we've got them here in a bullet list, and what we're going to do is we're going to let this cutscene play, and we're not going to talk over it. And I want you to appreciate how hard that is for us to do. But when it's over, then we're going to enumerate all the flaws. And it's going to be glorious. And this game totally has it. And this will justify every bit of bile and anger that we have for the rest of this series. So, ready when you are, Josh.
Right. So, here we go. We've
Wait,
found...
1 second here. I actually just need to create the lockjaw mechanism that is going to physically prevent me from actually, talking during this scene. Alright, here goes.
Game has mirrors in it. A direct approach is not an option. I need an alternate point of entry. Well, how about this conveniently placed vent?
Her name is Victoria, and she's worth a lot of fucking
Haha,
money.
man, isn't this guy evil with how creepily sexist he is?
N-
Kind of like this entire video game.
Point is, we go
Rutsgarden,
in, we grab her
let the audience
hang on.
enjoy it.
until they give us the ransom.
She sounds like something you came up with in one of your lives.
The end!
No, okay,
That was
yeah, so we
Hitman
do actually
Absolution.
have to move on before the other thing, which...
Let's look at all the stuff we got. Look at this janitor uniform. That was cool. What about the Hope Goon?
Hope Goon?
This-
Hope Goon?
Oh, Goon.
I mean, like, okay, yeah, but, like, also, that's a really hilarious thing to call your costume. It sounds like you're, like, a superhero whose name was very poorly translated.
Yes!
Also, thank God
Alright,
you, an
here we
international
go.
super spy, unlocked a moldy brick. Okay.
Jesus Christ! Don't you ever fucking knock?
Good work, Sanchez. Yeah.
What is he? Is he a cop? Is he a PI or something?
Oh, I'm so angry already. Someone hold my hand.
What the fuck?
That ain't no fucking private eye. That's a fucking ghost. That's a myth. That's a fucking hitman.
Hitman?
Oh shit!
What the fuck are you talking about?
This fucking changes everything. This changes everything.
What the fuck are we gonna do with
Is
her?
it really important for us to not talk over this?
Yes.
Look, when I played through this game, I couldn't talk over it while I was playing by myself. All must suffer as I suffer.
Buenos dias, Peter.
Hello.
Yeah, we got us a little mess in here. Why don't you come on in and clean it up?
For you.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Clean now?
Sure, come on in, darling. Atta girl.
Oh my God, these.
Dexter, don't! Oh God! You fucking animal!
And that's what I call a sweet slice. You know, nothing would give me more pleasure than to kill you right here and now. Me kill
Can I
a
just say,
legendary
thank God for all
hitman.
these close-up
Yeah, but,
shots.
I don't need that kind of attention.
Yeah.
So, oh dear,
His face looks like dried ketchup.
dear. You've done a bad, bad thing. Well, now they won't be looking for a killer, will they, huh? Killer.
Yee-haw! Ha! I'll tell you, I don't ordinarily yee-haw, but this is a fucking yee-haw! Fucking Christmas! Here, take a slash. Nah. On second thought.
This is a bad plan.
Seamus really likes that thing's vintage.
So Campster and I have been playing Destiny. It's been kind of fun.
Oh god,
That's the first time It's the first time I've ever been glad to hear him mention Destiny.
Adios.
So, there's like an important detail in this cutscene before we go anywhere else that I think needs to be addressed here. You might have missed this. It was really subtle, but he set the room on fire.
There's another thing which we're going to bring up in a minute, which is that it was really stupid and didn't make any sense.
Also, he called the cops, I guess.
Okay, well, let's slow our roll here, because, oh boy.
Here we go.
Is that our cue? All right.
Yes.
I'm going to kick us off. Let me bring up the script. Okay. Minor point. Why did 47 bother entering Dexter's room at all? Dexter wasn't even a target. He was just there for intel, which he got by listening through the vent.
Of all the ways you could deal with Sanchez the bodyguard, you know, choking, shooting, stealth, your character is forced to choose the dumbest possible option in a cutscene. It might also conflict with your chosen playstyle, whether you're ghosting or gunning.
Yeah, like, I try not to kill anybody but the target, so for me, that would be already, like, a huge annoyance. And all this is tolerable, except the game then punishes you for the idiotic decision it made on your behalf. Like, that looks like a video shot out of when I play Hitman and just kind of fuck up.
Blake Dexter somehow knows what your barcode means. Oh, Blake Dexter is the fat Texan who's not from Texas. We'll get to that later. Blake Dexter somehow knows what your barcode means, even though you sliced it off.
Okay, so, and obviously Dexter's able to identify you for your barcode. Of course he is. You're Agent 47. But here's the thing. That illustrates how dumb it is for an assassin to walk around with a barcode on your head, which has always been a problem, but we didn't care because the game didn't call attention to it. Seamus's analogy is, it's like finding, like, someone figuring out who Superman is because his disguise is so terrible. We already agree with you. Yeah, it's a terrible disguise. We just had all thought we'd gloss over it because it's obviously stupid and, you know, it's kind of fun and neat. Just don't rub our faces in it, man.
Dexter seems happy that a hitman is after him, saying this changes everything and this is Christmas. No reason is ever given for why he would think this was a good thing, or what it changes, or how it helps him.
Yeah, like, you might think that there's an explanation coming down the line. We'll get to that later. Dexter concludes that while murdering 47 outright is a bad idea, you know, that, like, is obviously that would call all sorts of attention. So instead, let's frame him for murder, make him mad at us, and light this building on fire. What? What? Throwing him out a window would be absolutely a smarter plan. Or maybe just say, hey, you know, he attacked us and got killed by security, because that's what happened to 47.
Yes. Minor point, the cinematography in that cutscene was really amateur. We spent almost the whole time in gross Dexter close-ups, even though the entire scene revolved around 47. We had to wait until almost the end of the cutscene before we got a single wide shot establishing the room, the characters, and their positions in relation to each other.
Is there not supposed to be a floor?
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay, that looked really weird.
Yes.
Yes. Alright, so the entire cutscene is Dexter monologuing. And we never found out what her relationships are with everybody else in the room. There's, like, the lady who's hot, I guess. And then there's... Okay, so, like, we wouldn't really care about this. Because, you know, these people, we don't know if they're... It's not like their characters we're supposed to find interest in and that will drive the plot at some point. They're just props in this scene. Except there's so much talking and they tell you so very little. It's like I was talking about earlier with Birdie. Okay, so I want to make something clear at this point, by the way. We are 25% of the way through our complaints. Buckle up. These are just the dumb ones, for the most part.
Josh goes slow because I like the reveal to the train station. And they're going to be going for a while.
Dexter concludes that it would bring too much attention to kill 47. Dexter already thinks the agency is after him. Oh, and he already kidnapped a super killer. What additional attention is he afraid of?
Yeah, and also, coming back to framing him for murder. Why frame him for murder when, like, the cutscene establishes that this is a 47 who kills people? He may have already killed people all over the hotel. He has, in fact, murdered people on every continent. Just call the cops. He's trying to frame Hitman for murder.
Actually, why frame him at all? He's an armed man that broke into your hotel room and tried to kill Sanchez. Attempted murder is still illegal, even in Chicago.
So to add to this, so, like, maybe he figures, oh, you know, it'd be better for the police to deal with him than me. But, like, why would he not be afraid that the agency could get him out of jail? Or, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Except, okay, you know, Dexter stabs a maid to death. Then he puts the knife in 47's hand. 47's wearing gloves. His fingerprints are on the knife, or does he take them off? Even so, this is a really weak attempt to frame somebody for murder. Yes, he walked in, slit this maid's throat from behind, then he walked to the middle of the room, and then he flew through the door and broke it, and shit,
Yeah, this is the most preposterous murder frame-up imaginable. What are the police going to conclude? Clearly this man snuck into this heavily guarded penthouse suite of this hotel so he could infiltrate all these layers of security, slip into the penthouse, and then ignore the millionaire and kill this maid.
Right. Also, he used a shitty pocket knife. He has pockets full of guns and fiber wire.
With a pocket knife with Dexter's fingerprints and only Dexter's fingerprints on it. Oh, and then after killing this maid, Agent 47 evidently walked to the middle of the room, knocked himself out, and set fire to the place.
Yes. Dexter, okay, now this really bothers me. Dexter's like, oh, no, that's what I call a sweet slice. What? Is that a golf reference? What? But you're not supposed to have a sweet slice in golf.
Layla Stockton, Dexter's assistant, acts all grossed out and horrified by the killing going on when he kills the maid. Later we learn that she's a badass killer who thinks she can stand toe-to-toe with 47. These two characterizations do not remotely fit together, particularly in a story this broad.
No, it would be one thing, again, if it's like, oh, hey, you know, I am an honorable killer, but she's not, she doesn't have a character in this game. And her reaction, even so,
she has two characters.
Isn't like,
right there,
why would you attack an innocent? Yes. It isn't like she's like, oh no, she's an innocent, why'd you do that? You know, that would establish that part of her character. Instead she's like, oh no, a murderer. So, Dexter cheers and does the yeehaw thing when he's done framing 47. And it just, I don't mean to be churlish, but he still hasn't established a single reason he would be excited to do this. He just killed his own maid and framed a guy for murders he's already attempted to commit. Even if this plan worked, like, he's like, oh, well, I don't know, I guess I gotta pack up and leave now.
Then Dexter sets fire to the room, which is likely to kill 47, thus contradicting the thing he said just a minute ago about not wanting to kill him.
Yeah, best case scenario, it will flush 47 out of the crime scene, which will then be destroyed.
A minute ago, Dexter was worried. A minute before this, Dexter was worried about too much attention. You know, burning down the hotel contradicts that as well. He couldn't get more attention if he showed up at police headquarters wearing only a bolo tie.
Oh fuck, Seamus. I just noticed that was in here. Why did you have to paint that image in our heads?
Because it deadens the pain of the cutscene itself.
Okay, so let's forgive all of that, which don't make any sense. Like, let's say Dexter's the psychopath, or I don't know. Let's just decide not to care about Dexter doing all that stuff. His friends also don't point it out, which sort of, like, even if one of them had said, like, what are you doing? Like, pretty much the last 2 pages we would have just thrown out, as Dexter is, you know, just likes causing chaos. He's just like kind of a force of nature, whatever. You know, it wouldn't be good writing, but we would ignore it and we could get on with the game. And with the set pieces that you obviously designed before you ever picked up a pen.
Yeah. And bad guys don't always, like Rutskarn said, bad guys don't always need to make sense. It's one thing if they're distant and we don't understand their motives, but that cutscene was 3 minutes of Dexter talking in close-up, and every line of dialogue contradicted something that came before.
Yeah, real quick GMing trick. If you're ever not sure that you're about to make a plot point that, like, if you ever think you're about to create a plot point that doesn't actually make sense, but it's the exciting thing to happen and you want the players to go with it, don't talk about it while you're doing it. Like, don't have lots of dialogue where you're explaining why this kind of makes sense, because it doesn't, and we realize that. Just, like, save it up and drop an explanation later. Make it a mystery. If, like, he'd just been thrown through there and Dex had looked around and he just, like, killed a maid and then, like, without saying a single word, poured around liquor and set fire to the room while his assistants are like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then he's just like, and then he yeehaws. We wouldn't be sitting here right now doing this. We would be playing a different game because this one wasn't stupid enough.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I completely went off script there. I found a new thing to be mad at.
Yeah, I know.
Alright, so where were we? Oh, right, I see. This also kind of bothered me. So they all leave the room without retrieving any of their luggage. So, Dexter decided that the most fun thing to do here would be to kill a maid, burn all of his clothes, and leave in disgrace.
Okay, and then when Dexter sets the fire, we wake up, the whole hotel is on fire, but the room we're in, the room where the fire started, is in about the same condition where Dexter left it. So the fire is only spreading outside the room?
Yes, the fire that makes no sense obeys rules that makes no sense. Yeah, and when we wake up, we're in a different position than before. You're on your belly, with your hands in front of you. Also, the knife is gone. I never even noticed that.
The knife, it spent the entire previous scene setting up that knife, and then it's just gone. Oh, I forgot. Yeah. We put that in the game.
Well, we can't start it with a knife. That doesn't make any sense.
47 wakes up in a burning room, and his first move is to block one of the exits. He has no way of knowing the cops are coming. For all he knows, he's trapping himself in a burning room for no reason.
And let's say 47 figures, oh, well, you know, at this point, this is when the authorities are going to start showing up. You know, that doesn't mean that he knows the cops are coming for him, necessarily. Like, that's a really weird inference to make. And anyway, yeah, blocking an entrance is a bad idea when he should run away and, like, take a fire escape or something. So he doesn't know the cops are coming. But the cops are coming.
Not to take away all the thunder of the complaining about that cutscene, but I've kind of totally forgotten where I'm supposed to... Oh, here we go. There's a ledge here. Right,
okay,
naturally, of course, that makes sense.
We have to get the helicopter scene. Have we done that yet? I don't think we've done that yet.
I don't know.
Huh.
There's the whole helicopter chase where suddenly stealth turns into, like, action pants where you're...
Oh, right, yes. Well, that's already happened to us.
So, let's give a brief, in case you're new to Earth, this is how fire works. If you're in a room with a fire and there's no like way for smoke to escape, what's probably going to happen is you're going to go faint, and it's gonna eventually you're gonna like fall asleep or fall unconscious because of smoke inhalation. If you're down on the near the floor, it might take longer. What doesn't usually happen is that you're in the room asleep with the fire right next to you for a long time, long enough for the police to arrive and get a helicopter nearby and like 10 squads of men in the adjacent buildings.
Oh god.
The police somehow know that they need to arrest 47. Not only did the police get here and fill up the buildings, but did they also stop and get a statement from Dexter before all this? How many hours were you asleep in there next to that dead maid?
Help, police! A man came in through the door, then the maid came in, then he slit the throat of the maid who didn't notice, and then the room caught on fire. And come arrest him. Oh, did you pull the fire alarm? No.
Well, where did he go? Oh, he's still there in the room. He laid down to the floor in the middle of the room and went to sleep.
How is he unconscious that long? Well, my bodyguard threw him through the door pretty hard, so, you know. So, did they not have any questions to ask him? Like, so, fire, like, is it just saying, oh, he's rich and connected so that he can buy off the cops? Like, one line to that effect in the 3 minutes of dialogue would have been nice.
Yes. Who are these police that are willing to storm a building and apprehend a suspect for murder when they haven't even seen the crime scene for?
I mean, it's Chicago, I think.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
67 arsonists shot while attempting to retreat from fire they started. So, I mean, you know, it's kind of standby that you just shoot people on sight, like when you're fleeing a burning building, or when you're in any area you shouldn't be, but it does feel kind of silly here, especially.
You know, and some of these guys, especially that the police have a helicopter that will fire machine guns into the upper floor if they see anyone moving around in the smoke. Like, what the hell?
Alright, let's get to the real serious gameplay issues here. This is not a Hitman level. This is an Uncharted level. We're starting to get into Hitman stuff here, now finally that we've reached, like, the hippie zone. But this previous thing was, like, felt much more at home and, like, if it was top-down in Hotline Miami than it does, like, right here now. Like, it feels like the stealth scene in Hotline Miami, not like a scene in a Hitman game where you're approaching a target and attempting to move your way around it. It's just there's no branching environments, there's, like, at that point, like, there really isn't, like, a good use of the sky systems. It's really just a weak Hitman gaming experience. And that's what they used for a lot of the trailers, too, I want to point out.
Well, talk about pupil dilation.
So, sort of skipping to the end, because we just have more harping on this idiotic cutscene. But basically, this entire breaking from the Hitman, what a Hitman game is supposed to be, they broke from that so that we could have that bullshit cutscene that nobody wanted, nobody needed, that was written horribly. You know, the gameplay we love was sacrificed in service of this story that nobody wanted and nobody knew how to tell, and that was done so incompetently and went on for so long.
Because I mean, really, how else could we have gotten the police to come after 47 in that cutscene? Okay, here's an idea. How about just completely, literally, at this second, off the top of my head, 47 goes in to spy on him. While he does that, the police start storming the building. They yell that they're looking for a bald man. 47 discovers that since he's betrayed the agency, they've leaked their file on all of the assassinations he's performed. So now instead of eavesdropping, he has to run for it.
Yes. There. Wow, you just unbroke that entire cutscene off the top of your head in the space of 30 seconds, and you made it cost 47 something to betray the agency, and you established how powerful the agency is, and you gave a reason for all that, and you saved us from watching Dexter's gross face for 3 solid minutes.
For the record, I think it's really weird that Powers Booth's character looks a lot like Powers Booth, but even though Blake Dexter is played by the poor man's David Carradine, Keith Carradine, it looks nothing like Keith Carradine.
Yeah, well, nobody wants to see Keith Carradine in their video game. Let's be honest. Oh yeah, so let's get back to the list, because there's still there's more stuff here, even with the stuff Shane skipped.
Yeah.
We're almost done here, but the important thing, as Seamus points out, is that this isn't satire. There's no humor. This isn't played for laughs. Like, there's no, like, Saints Row, why would we set the timer on the bomb before entering the building? That's a good question, we should hurry. It's just, it's really clumsy and really expensively produced bad storytelling.
Yeah. This isn't a deconstruction of the genre or of Hitman games. Assassin stories aren't known for any of these terrible, terrible flaws. It's not like, oh man, I want to play a Hitman game. I love stupid plot holes and idiot dialogue. None of this is what people want to see. None of this is what we're here for.
Okay, and here we go. This is the last thing on the list. I kind of wish that Ventrilo was less squirrely so that we could say this together, but here it is. 3 different people were paid to write this.
That makes me angry. That just makes me angry. I know it makes me angry because I absolutely 100% know I could do better.
Wait. What?
Oh wow! I wanted to cover this. And I thought, oh, there's no way we could orchestrate this specific outcome in this mission, and you stumbled into it. That's wonderful. Yeah, if you turn on the music, the cops walk in here and get high.
What? Wait, this has never happened to me. What? I love how this is a hide thing here.
I wish you had a motorcycle. I wish you had a motorcycle helmet on, and then there'd be another guy with another motorcycle helmet.
What are you laughing at?
You know, all that raving, and I don't feel any better. I'm just more angry. It didn't help.
I don't know. I kind of had fun. I mean, I'm not trying not to think about the implications of, you know, what I was paid for Unrest versus what these people were probably paid to write this game.
Yeah, that's why I'm angry.
Yeah.
So,
fuck.
On a positive note.
Shit!
Wait, next episode. Let's roll over.